Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3, and where we left off we were continuing the advance into the Caucasus, and that is continuing on now in this episode. Overall I think the advance is going fairly well. There are places where things could be going better, but equally there's places where things could be going a lot worse, so you know, it swings and roundabouts. We've nearly broken through in the northern sector. Which, as long as we can get across this river, then we can really start to do even more damage. In the south, we've got our reinforcement Hungarian troops starting to move up. So they're going to come along and sort of fill the gaps along the front line here. And it's the same with this small group of troops here that I'm going to have fill the gaps in this strategic direction. But I hope everyone's having a very good week. And in fact, we've got another Panzer Division. Very good. I'm having a relatively good week. Busy, but good. And I'm really enjoying all the campaigns that I've got going at the moment. The Soviet one will be coming out very soon. The naval war just keeps going from bad to worse. We need to get these submarines out ASAP. Ooh. No, that's not good. That's very not good. Okay, we have got troops making their way in that direction. We've got a shattered unit. Ooh, this is extremely bad. Let's move. We're running out of reserves in the north. This was the issue. Fuck. This was the major issue with the advance in the way that we've done it. But saying that, you know, there's a slight gap in the line there. Let's take a couple of units and move them south. We could just adopt a completely defensive stance. That might be the best option. Everywhere where we're not winning already. Just form a defensive line, and with U units push up. Thing is, they don't have the reserves to break through either, so can sort of counteract any advances they make in the north with what we're doing in the south. Which is going very well. Just need to make sure that we're not attacking anywhere we shouldn't be. And yeah, we've managed to close off the southern wing. Gonna move on Sochi. And let's make sure we've got all of their ports taken, because once we get the ports, because we've cut them off here, we will have completely surrendered their supply. We've nearly moved on Asheran. We are being attacked in one or two places. Let's just stop the attack there and change it and use that unit accordingly. Got Italian divisions being used on our flanks, along with Romanian divisions. Not the best. We are pushing just ahead of the line and around Tallulah. Managed to push up to Moscow. Very good. That's brilliant news. Yeah, if I have to choose between advancing in the south and advancing in the north, I'm going to go for the north. Sorry, advancing in the south and in the centre, I'm going to go for that ahead of this slight issue here. But we're going to probably encircle them. You know, if we can just take this one area, and in fact, I'm going to move up that motorised division to that end. And I might move them south. Now, that will leave a gap, but we can plug that gap with HQ units. And more motorised units. Let's do that. And supply looks like it's an issue for them because they're not moving up themselves. Okay, that's good. You're in a pretty weak position, but you don't have a lot of troops with which to help. Let's accordingly use those. And any units not involved, I'm going to chuck them in on a support attack order. And we should eventually surround Moscow. We're forcing them to pull back ever so slightly by the looks of it. Looks like they're afraid of an encirclement. Really not having a great time here. These guards divisions. But we can push in. Just want to create a more solid front line. Lots of green across the board. Oh, I'm just going to hold off there. And only attack where we're going to win. But I want to say a big thanks. We reached 97 subscribers the other day. I think the 97th was a Gamer1745. Who's one of my inspirations for going onto YouTube and making videos like this. So, you know, a big thanks to him for subscribing. I recommend you go watch his videos as well, because they're very informative. And thank you to everyone that's leaving tips and ideas on the best ways to sort of fight this, because, you know, they are helpful, legitimately helpful. We just took Ashtaran, which I think is yet worth 5 victory points, which is really good. We've got some tank units free. Not going to worry about that. Let's get all these plain techs up. We've still got a little bit of IC left over. What's the best thing to build? We've got a decent amount of manpower. Let's get a new tank division. Because we've got 8 units in now, a unit group. So let's do something like this. And I think artillery. SP artillery? Or an assault gun? I think an assault gun. We can get 2 units of them. The 29th and the 30th Panzer Division. Yeah, let's do that. It didn't cost a huge amount of IC either, and they'll be very powerful units. Let's just finish mopping up. Couple of units of tanks there. I don't want to sort of advance too far because there's nothing in this direction, really. So I'm better wheeling north, I think. So let's wheel north. Nearly pushed up to take this port. Move up there, we can move up there, we can move up here. Can't move up there. We're being forced back in a few areas. We've managed to stabilize the area here, relatively speaking. These units are half strength. Ugh. Chuck in another unit there. And HQ unit there. Support attack. If we can take Kalalin, then we'll pretty much of this salient we can probably pinch off. We are forcing them back in the Moscow area. Okay. We've pushed over the river here. That trade option. We've managed to get logistical warfare technology up. It's been a very interesting week in the UK politically. Boris Johnson still continues to frustrate me to no end. But, you know, it's a really strange one. I would talk more politics, but I don't want to bore everyone to sleep. But it's really unfortunate the way that Brexit is being handled. Regardless of how you voted the first time round, it's being handled terribly by the political, the political parties in the UK. It's not being, it's being used as the greatest political football of all time, which was not, meant to be the point of Brexit. I think that's one thing that everyone can agree on. Okay. Desperately need to force out these units from Stalingrad. Only 23% modifier. Ooh. And we've just lost the Battle of Rezev, which has been a fucking thorn in my side. Or wherever it is, for too long. We are losing a few battles. And we have divisions shattering. Fuck. Right. I have this siege corps that I can use to hold the gap. So it looks like I'm going to have to do that. Because we got units being smashed in the meat grinder. But yeah, I'm not sure with Brexit how anyone can say it's a good idea now. I mean, if you think it's a good idea, you obviously need to get your head checked, because it's not great. And we've nearly met up at the processing centre at Krasnodar. And we've nearly made it to the major oil fields. Ah, good. He rose up right on our garrison unit. That's really happy days. Like a bit of good news. I'm just giving our troops in the north a little bit of rest. Or we can upgrade the Moscow region rail network. Let's upgrade the rail. Every little bit of leadership helps. Now, I'm wondering at which point do I want to invite Iran in? Because they haven't got the largest amount of troops, but they've got enough to sort of tie down and make sure that these units are tied down. So I might get them in now. Right, so that's the war against the UK done. And as you'll see, there's no infrastructure for the UK to get to them in the south. So in a bit of time we can invite them in. We've got a huge amount of Soviet troops encircled now. You know what? Let's go the southern route towards Baki. Yeah, like so. Just a few tank divisions can make a real difference, as is being demonstrated. Right, so I'm going to take this group and move them like so. I'm going to do the same with this group. And we're going to keep the other ones moving south. And we've managed to encircle them. Like so. Managed to take 6 Panzer up. Using a few units to keep them locked in place. Our units are moving extremely quickly into the mountains with no real opposition. We just took Grozny, which is an oil refinery that's making no oil. Blah. We've nearly taken this major port. Just getting as many techs researching as possible. And I can get that 42 tech as well. Okay, that's really good. They will be running out of supply soon enough. Right. Ooh. And this is very interesting. So, just the surrounding of Stalingrad seems to have caused their requirements for peace to have increased exponentially. Open peace negotiation. As the Soviet desperation have reached higher level than their... Really? Okay. Wow. What just happened? I'm not sure what just happened. Ah. You know, I'm not sure about this. And I don't remember when I did my last save. You know, I'm extremely not sure about this. Wasn't exactly what I had in mind. I mean, I guess I can completely crush this now, but... we haven't really achieved our aims. Like, not at all. I'm going to stop the recording here and have a think on this. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks again. Bye-bye.